link. I just sent that to everybody, and we are ready to go.
Okay. First, I'm going to read the Open Public Meeting Act notice. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Annual notice having been published on or about July 29, 2024, in 2 local newspapers with a copy on file with the board secretary and a copy to be posted to the TCCS website. This meeting is being called to order at 7:10. The first thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Can I have a second? Yeah. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so the minutes are approved.
Just initial. So that was Anthony and Joe. Who's taking notes? All right, cool.
I am.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's like old times. All right. So before we go ahead with the regular agenda, I do want to just introduce a guest who he is going to have to run probably after this, but I want to introduce Chad, who's going to be renting the gym in an extensive partnership with us for the next year, starting in the fall. Chad, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Thanks, Ralph, for having me, and it's really nice to meet all of you. Beautiful school. I visited the gym the other day, and I'm really excited for everything that's happening within this school. A couple of people in our program, Anna Moldovsky and Maggie Thomas, who I'm sure you know both of them. I reached out to people in our program and I said, we're looking to grow, we're looking for space. And they said, we have a beautiful new gym in our school. And like I said, when I visited the other day, it was just a great vibe. There were kids playing around. So we're looking to rent the gym on the times that your school is not using it. And Ralph has been really on point, so to speak, of, giving those clear as days and times that the gym are available, and we're organizing programs in those days and time. We're insured by A.M. Skyer, which is amongst the largest insurance companies for sports and athletic programs. I provided the COI already and a deposit. We pay all our fees on time. I'm accessible 24/7. I can provide references or anything upon anybody's request. CMEC's been around since 1997. The original acronym stood for Chad Mekos Expert with Kids. Long story short, when I was 17, my dad said if I wanted a job, if I wanted a car, I'd have to go to work. And I went to the local JCC in Henneply. I started scorekeeping, and parents asked me to train their children, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm a proud father of 3. I have 3 girls. They love basketball, and hopefully will play here too. So I'm just really excited about what's to come, and I guess I'll open it up if anybody has any questions for me.
Go ahead. No.
What's your usual schedule? Like, is that something that's already predetermined? Are
Yeah,
you having games? Are you having games, or is it just practices?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So basically, Ralph gave me the times that the school doesn't use it, which mostly are 6 to 9 p.m. in the evenings. And there's a Wednesday where we were aiming to split the court because some of our kids are young and they need to play at the earlier after school times. Our teams play, a lot of it is just skill development and training, but sometimes they play in leagues. And Ralph gave me the gym time that is available on weekends, should we want to schedule some games. We're hoping to book as much available time as we can. I don't know how many hours yet we will book, but we're hoping that we will grow. We have a base of kids in Englewood, Teaneck, Paramus who have come through our programs, like I said, including a couple kids from the school. We'd be happy to create more groups if any of you have kids who want to play and want the extra training in preparation for your school team season in the fall. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, when Chad actually came the first time to look at the gym and we sort of did the tour, Mike Tuslow, our athletic coordinator, was actually here because he was running the sports and science camp. And interestingly enough, Chad and Mike had already known each other because Chad had helped Mike rent some space earlier on when we didn't have gym space. So that was a good connection.
So we're also in Tempi, we use the St. John's Church, but we need more space. We're trying to grow, and, you know, location and convenience for family is important. And, you know, right here, you know, with all the surrounding towns, makes this hopefully what we believe will be a great, you know, location for the kids to play.
Sounds good.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great, thanks, Chad. All right, so yeah, so they actually all have a copy of the building use form that you had filled out. So I distributed that to the board. There's a resolution towards the end of the meeting where they'll be voting to approve it, and then we're good to go once that's all set. And then, as we said, we would talk about key cards and access and work out those details once everything is all squared away.
Okay, great.
All right,
Thank you.
excellent. Thanks, Chad. Yeah.
So how is the security going to work when games coming in? Is this all going to be secure, or going to have access to this? Because they need to use the bathroom.
So the bathrooms are in the gym. So that's what's great. It's all self-contained. The access would only be through out there, as we've had with other like evening rentals and things like that. The other thing that we are going to be putting into effect once they come in is we're now going to have the ability to sort of partition off areas down here too. So those details are going to sort of get worked out through the program. But yeah, I mean, that's the expectation, that it's just the gym.
And then can you share out the group information? Because I know there's some kids that are talking about joining or learning about basketball. I know my son and my daughter want to.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there's other kids that want to.
Ralph has my email, my contact number, and to the point above, we have protocols and procedures for drop-off, pickup, all sorts of situations. You know, we're happy to add whatever it is to that, so our coaches are, you know, all aware of what has to happen. But yeah, we'll be convening the gym.
I mean, and actually, I thought you were going to ask about this, but from the TCSO perspective, if there's events happening or things like that our other organizations want to plan, you know, we have an agreement that's sort of standing too, as well as long as we give advance notice and Chad has the opportunity to let his group know that it's unavailable for the night or whatever else, you know, the preference will obviously be given to the school. And we're going to work out those details and how much advance notice we can potentially give towards the end of the summer when we actually meet to go over our calendar for the year. So that's going to work out.
Advance notice is appreciative, but if something comes up even last minute on a Monday, Chad, we need a gym, there's a special event on Wednesday, it's very easy. I just send a notification out, hey, we're going to reschedule practice to this day. You know, that's like standard operating procedures and wherever we are. So, yep.
That's great.
All right, nice meeting you. everybody.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Security officers.
Nice meeting you guys. Thank you.
What about?
Thanks.
No,
Nice to meet you.
of course, Chad.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. See you around.
Yep.
Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I think it's the ear.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, good night.
Okay. Should I move along?
Mhm.
All right. So we just have a couple items on the director's report. First of those, obviously, is our enrollment update. We are at full enrollment. We did have a couple spots that were opened up in the lottery in grades 6, 5, I want to say. I don't have it off the top of my head, but any of those spots were filled. So, you know, as we hear of anybody else potentially leaving as we get closer to September, which is often the case, where people are either late to let us know or, you know, unfortunately, we don't find out until September. We'll then have an update as far as any other spots that open up. But as of right now, there's very little turnover from a student perspective. All the intent forms also have been filled out as well, which was good. We really sort of followed up with anybody who didn't get those in, so we have a pretty good idea of who's expected to come back. As far as the facility goes, we are obviously in summer mode. There's a lot going on, a lot of projects that we've discussed at the last couple of meetings. Progress is moving along really well with the construction project upstairs. The only thing that's pretty much left to do in the office area is the window and the carpet. The resource room, they have finished spackling and painting and getting all that done. We had the company come in today that's going to be delivering more lockers, and we're just working out how to shuffle the lockers around upstairs with our homeroom sizes to make sure we make full use of the new bank that we're going to have outside of the resource room there, which is a new feature where it's about 14 feet long. We could fit 28 lockers if we need to. And besides that, the gate project is moving along as well. We're still getting quotes for the electrical work that has to go with that, but we do have an agreement with a metal company that's going to be providing the gates. The drainage project that's going to be outside of the multipurpose room, that's happening as possibly as early as this Saturday is when he's expected to be on site to get going on that. The playground, we have finally settled on a design after adding a couple additional features to make it more age-friendly for all of our kids. That put a little bit of a delay in the project, but we're still on target to get that going during the summer so that it'll be ready early on in the school year. And then besides that, we have just our regular sort of summer maintenance and everything else. The plumbing work that was being done in the kindergarten bathrooms has all been completed. Now it's just paint that's being applied there, but we have nice new tiling, new toilets in the kindergarten area, and that's really a nice upgrade. And that's pretty much it besides the building turnaround here. Now that the SAI program and ESY programs are finished, the custodians are able to now work in those classrooms where they were working, but they're on a really good schedule. Mark actually just gave me an update today, and they're definitely, there's no issues or concerns that things won't be ready for the fall. Am I missing anything, Tom?
The gym floor and music classroom.
Yeah, so the wood is going to be refinished in the gym and on the hardwood floor in the music room as well. And that's actually scheduled for the 8th, I want to say, right? August 8th or the 6th? Yeah, one of the, or the 9th. All right. So I was in that range. Early August, though, but that is scheduled and we're good to go with that. So we're moving along. It's a very busy time, as we know. But we are definitely excited about the improvements, and it's always good to keep things fresh and keep things, exciting for the kids when it comes to things like the playground and everything else. And as far as the functionality and safety for the building when it comes to the flooding we're experiencing, I'm glad that that's going to be hopefully a thing of the past. Any questions? Great. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Christina and Sonia. We'll give you some updates on the academic programs that have just wrapped up.
So like Rob said, Friday, SAI and ESY ended. So we will be compiling the data to report to the curriculum committee, specifically from the SAI and ESY programs. And we just want to thank the staff that worked the programs and for the parents for new students to attend the programs. We will have attendance record because we do see that there was a better attendance with the SAI program, but attendance still weighed a factor in the progress of the students. So we'll report that at the curriculum committee. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, no, the teachers did a great job of collecting data, and that was something we wanted to improve this summer from last summer, giving like a pre and a post test to really see the progress within the program. Most have sent us kind of preliminary data, so I haven't had the chance to really delve into it yet because the program ended on Friday. But we did kind of skim over it a little bit, and it all looks very promising. Growth across all areas. Some kids going from below grade level to on grade level, just in a short amount of time. So we really thank our teachers. Our upper school attendance and SAI was a pleasant surprise. According to Ms. Lee, if you feed them, they will come. She was definitely right in that. Very pleasantly surprised about the upper school attendance and not too many grumpy faces. Not too many. And then even Ms. Lee sends out, kind of a survey to the students of how they felt about math before and after the program. And it was really nice to see in their own words. Some of them were just like bad good. But then some of them were like, I was embarrassed about math before and now I feel more confident, or things like that. So it was really great to see some of those things in their words. So we'll have a more in-depth presentation on the data piece of it next time, but all signs point right.
Well, we thank you both for doing all that work and being responsible for the SAI and ESY program. It's not fun to deal with grumpy faces, so thank you guys for your work as well.
We deal with that the whole year. So the next thing on the list is actually our summer camp updates. Mr. Cotto couldn't be with us tonight, but he does have a little bit of a summary that Juliana is going to read on his behalf.
So good evening, board members. please accept my apologies for not being with you tonight. TCCS summer camps have been in full swing for the past 6 weeks. First, on behalf of all the camps, we want to collectively thank the administration, nursing office, and custodians for their support of the summer camp programs. Next, our camp concluded on July 19th and was at full capacity plus a few extras. Each week revolved around a new theme: food, color, animals, and the beach. They created a variety of projects from paintings to drawings, clay sculptures, and more. Each week included our camp's famous water day with bigger and better inflatables, pools, and lots of fun. They were able to have 2 walking trips, one to Durham Park for an hour and to find supplies for the Snake Man, or for the Fairy House build, and the second to Guerrero's Gelato for some delicious treats. This year, for Animal Week, New Jersey Snake Man was invited to TCCS for an educational presentation. Campers were able to handle and take photos with many snakes, 2 lizards, a tortoise, and a 6-foot python. Miss Abby and Mr. Adam are already planning next year's art camp and hope to see you there. Sports and Science Camp concluded this Friday after 6 weeks of fun activities. Campers have had the opportunity to keep both body and mind active while competing in different sports, physical education challenges, and participating in various science lessons and experiments. Amongst the favorites include Steal the Bacon, Kickball, Slime Making, the Egg Drop Challenge, and Coke and Mentos Explosions. Campers also had the opportunity to go on the 7 field trips during camp, which included Teaneck Cinemas, Bowler City, Slime World, and a swimming trip. This week, they will go on mini golfing and visit Bounce Youth for a celebration of their last day. Mr. T and Mrs. Scalisi want to thank everyone for another successful summer at Sports and Science Camp. Theater Camp started its 2nd week today. This is the largest enrollment for Theater Camp with 44 campers, over 10 alumni volunteers, and our largest production staff ever. Both productions are gearing up by learning songs, choreography, costume fittings, and set building. Jungle Book Kids premieres on August 15th at 4 p.m. and Into the Woods Kids premieres on August 16th at 4 p.m. Tickets will go on sale later this week, and we hope you will come join performances to be dazzled and bewildered by our talented students. Thank you, Jen.
All right, perfect.
Good update.
Did a great job, too.
Okay, so, yes, thank you, Juliana, appreciate that. I didn't want to read it, so I'm glad he sent you. The next one on the list actually is, we have a number of personnel updates that Sonia can review, but we're pleased to say that we do have several appointments tonight.
Yeah, so I'm just happy to announce that we pretty much filled all of our current positions. We're in the resolutions later, but I'll just read them out to you really quickly. For 2nd grade, we have Grace Antonori. 5th grade ELA teacher Molly Connolly. 7-8 ELA teacher Ramir Ricketts. Physical ed health teacher Dorsey Williams. Special ed teacher Karen Schaefer. And then we have 4 paraprofessionals: Margaret Troy, Anifelta Arias, Dominique McQueen, and Faith Ashby. We also have Jennifer Lehman, who is going to be part-time OT, and a new nurse. Her name is Cheryl Lou Daly. So we're excited about all these personnel appointments. There's an extensive process. I mean, some of you know, every board meeting we try to give an update. But we have a committee together. Christina and I usually do screenings, and then we bring in different staff who either are in that teacher team. We did bring parents at one of the 2nd grade interview process. So this was our final outcome, yes. We've had many surprises, many ups and downs, but we're really happy with who we're presenting you today. And we're happy we were able to have the board meeting today because we do have some possibility and some of the staff already who have come to review curriculum. The 5-6 ELA teacher and the 7-8 ELA teacher already have come to look over some things. So having the board meeting is important so that we can get them moving along. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight.
Is that Coach Ashby's daughter?
Yes,
That's
so
awesome.
Faith Ashby was actually substituting for us and now applied for the paraprofessional position, so.
Very nice.
Excellent. And then the last thing that we just wanted to touch on, I mean, it sort of has already been sort of covered as to what we've been doing, but we have been doing a lot of planning for the coming year when it comes to getting schedules set, getting rosters put together, outside of the physical readiness for the building. But Sonia has also started to really put together our training week program with Christina as well. If you want to touch on some of the other things we're getting ready for.
So we also have started to work with the behavior committee that we appointed at the last board meeting. We've been working for 2 weeks, going over the surveys, updates to the discipline codes. Today we had a board member parent who came to see the progress that we've been making. The next step is to present it to the staff, and actually at the next board meeting, we would like the committee to come to present all of the updates. We really just want everyone on board, we're parents, staff, and students to kind of like understand the process of what we put together this year and really communicating that as much as possible so that again, it takes a village. So if we work all together, we will continue to see improvement in discipline at the school. We're getting ready for August training. Getting the class, people are already coming into the classroom trying to get ready. So I think we're excited for the new year.
Absolutely. Any questions about anything from the director's report? Preparation for the coming year? Okay. So I will turn it back over to our president.
Okay, so I sent out the board self-evaluation to the board members. I don't have the numbers back yet. I'm waiting to hear from Matt Lee, the NJSBA rep. So hopefully we'll have that information soon. And some of that information is needed for the annual report that Ralph is going to complete. So if you're a board member and you haven't completed it, please complete it soon. And Joe, you don't have to complete it because you just came on. Committee updates. So we really didn't hold any committee meetings since the early July meeting. We did have Stacy Bahari, our curriculum chair. She did put together some information that was an overview of our year and some goals to share with Sonia. So I'm not sure if she sent it to you directly. I'll share it out with you. But she sent it to the board members on the committee and we were able to review it. And RFP met today virtually to approve the new auditor who's on the agenda for this evening. And I believe that's it.
Perfect. Yep. You can talk, Matt. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about
So I did want to throw out that in preparation of next year, we did start looking into possibly getting uniforms next year for students. We've been talking to different companies. It doesn't look, obviously, at this time that we can roll it out for September. There is one company that says maybe for the beginning of 2025 that we can, if we do decide to go with uniforms, that we can most likely get them in and maybe after the break, start the new year with uniforms. Another company is saying they recommend to do it in September 2025. So that, because they have to get the art to do the logo, to make sure they put it on the polo shirts, whatever we decide. So we're looking into 2 different companies and we kind of just wanted to get the board's opinion on how you feel. We know that parent survey asked for uniforms. I know the staff and even in the behavior committee is saying they do feel the need and importance of having uniforms. So we're here in the middle, of course, of deciding whether we get uniforms or not. But there's really no cost to the school. It's really the cost to the parents, which is hard. But they do have some fundraising and they also work with parents in need and things like that. So there's a lot of information that we did receive that we can present, and then we can make a decision if we're going to go with uniforms.
So just so everybody's aware, the last 2 years, the questions for uniforms, I think it was 67% said yes, and then 72% said yes. So it looks like the community really wants the uniforms. My only concern is cost for families. So we had just like an informal chat about it, but just, like Target and anywhere that's like not too expensive that has interchangeable clothing so that the kids eat, whether it's beige and blue or whatever it is, so that, the logos are awesome, but if you can't afford the one with the logo, you have an alternative. I think that's really important. But the community is asking for it. So I don't know, I don't want to speak for the board, but I think our surveys are pushing us in this direction.
I think this is incredible. I'm really excited for it. I think I'm a firm believer that it will really improve the discipline in some ways, because I think that's half the battle with the students here. The competition between the clothing and the sneakers. I mean, shoes will always be, but I can work around, but it just really brings the cohesiveness to the environment. And I went to Catholic school, so I'm very pro uniform. And so I'm very excited to even have this conversation with you.
In the presentations for uniforms, they do show the cost of what families typically pay for regular clothing compared to uniforms. So many times people say that uniforms cost a lot of money, but when you really look, if you buy 5 photo shirts for each one day of the week, 2 pair of pants, like really the cost, it's really cheaper to have uniforms. Mm-hmm. It's just the startup cost, I think, to start getting uniforms, it seems pricey, but
there's a long-term relief that you will benefit from at some point. Now I have a question about logos, just to get the students involved and give them a little bit of a say? Are you gonna ask about, like, maybe have a survey on colors and logo, maybe just to get the children a little bit more excited about it? Because when it's mandated, it feels a little bit more, not mandated, but, it feels a little bit more. So not only the community's responding positively, but maybe just like, hey, these are our 3 options, which ones do you guys prefer? Just to get them a little bit more like, okay, we're gonna do this, well, at least it's something that we chose, that we had, invested in.
I think that's a great
When we
idea.
had the students come in last week to review the behavior stuff, because we were like, what do you think about this when we talked about dress code? Some of them had their opinions about the dress, getting uniforms. But when we said we would still have maybe pajama days for Spirit Week, and we still will have some of the things that make us TCCS, dress down days. We can still incorporate some of the things that they like into, and then you saw that they were like, okay, I could see that working.
Mhm.
So I think you're right. The buy-in with the students is explaining to them, like, we're going to transition into this, and it might not just be like, okay, all of a sudden it's one way. Like you said, we might not have the logo. You can go to Target, get the collared
Right,
shirt. But
right.
what we were thinking is, they said start simple. So start with one color, maybe let's say blue polo khakis, or if you do white polo and blue khakis, they said that the white gets really dirty, so they recommended not white. So it's really to keep it simple to start, they said. So
And you can also incorporate dress on days and PBS points.
and that we were saying, PBS points, or in some schools they do it as fundraisers. You pay $1 to dress down. So there's like so much.
Well, they also talked about, I mean, for phys ed and things like that, obviously we don't have locker rooms, and it wouldn't be an opportunity where kids would have to get changed or anything like that. But on days when they have gym, there are specific, there's like gym uniform type things that they can wear. Yeah, so I mean, obviously timing wise, it's not something we're looking to roll out in September. But there have been very serious conversations, especially, coming from the discipline code, meetings that they've been having. So as long as everyone is on board with how we roll it out, I think that, it could really work out well.
I agree. And Joe just made a comment too about like, an art initiative, having them design them and then like school-wide vote or something like that. I think that's a great idea too. Contests. That's a great idea. Just have them invested, because I think for some kids it's going to be a really hard change. So the more that they have to put into it, the better.
Our 8th graders.
Yeah, especially the ones that made it this far. Yeah. And also, maybe a September start is better. I understand the December start, but maybe a September start is better, just for like planning for parents and school shopping and all that stuff.
Because right after the holidays, that's.
Yeah,
Well,
especially
if
with
we
all
do
their new
September,
gear.
then it would have to be, because if we're going to get the student input and logos, we will definitely not be able to have it by September. But we could maybe roll out
And then next year, the next
Yeah.
September, yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's not to say, our dress code is something that has also just been discussed, regardless, uniform or not, that there's going to be some changes and some updates when it comes to that, even talking about like Crocs and other like footwear that have, it was pretty prevalent, but we were getting reports from the nurse, the kids are getting hurt at recess, in gym class, and whatever else. So there are going to be a little bit more specific guidelines, I think, that we end up putting out before the end of the summer when it comes to even footwear and things like that. So
That sounds great.
yeah, but I want to thank Natalie for coming today. It was good to definitely have an outside perspective as well. So thank you. All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Resolutions.
So there's a number of resolutions for tonight. We have 2 budget summaries. One is the last one from any holdover expenses from the previous school year, and then the next one are all the bills that we've paid since the last meeting that we had. The next one on that is the LIEP. We made sure we included what that means. That is the Language Instruction Educational Program 3-year plan, which is mandated for the next 3 years. Christina, you want to just talk about that real briefly?
So like Ralph said, every 3 years we have to basically report to the state what our ELL, our English language learner numbers are, which have increased over the past couple of years, and what our plan is to address them and meet their needs. What our numbers are. So I mean, that's pretty much it. It's really just answering a bunch of questions from the state as to what our numbers are in terms of students, what their proficiency levels are, how many teachers we have supporting our ELL population. And we do it every 3 years, so.
Do we have one specific like ELL teacher?
We do. So one of our pairs is really certified, well, she's a certified ESL teacher. We don't have enough of a population right now to have a full-time ELL teacher, but we do have enough of a population. Once we cross over 10 students, we had to have some type of formalized program. Up until last year, we were only like 7, 8. So our bilingual speech and language pathologist was supporting them, supporting our ELL population, but then we crossed over that 10 mark and we hired Ms. Pam. She's a certified ESL teacher. So she pulls some, depending on the proficiency levels, like the proficiency levels are 1 to 6, 6 meaning they're 100% fluent, 1 meaning they really don't speak much English. When students come in within the first couple of weeks, they get screened, and depending on their number, we'll determine if they require services. And then in March every year, we do formalized VITA testing, standardized testing that the state makes us do. We just got all those reports back, and then that'll determine if those students require services going into next year. So depending on the levels will depend on, students who are more, anything above a 4.5, they don't need services anymore. So theoretically, students that are like 3.5 to 4.5, the ESL teachers will just kind of work with the gen ed teachers, strategies, things like that. A little bit lower, they'll pop into the classroom. For our students who are in the 1 to 2 range, they do pull out services for them. So it's a range.
Thank you.
Okay. Then we have a number of personnel appointments as Sonia reviewed before. That's for we've got a couple of extracurricular appointments for the coming school year, mainly mentors. We've got a couple updated personnel appointments for this summer, people who are working out with curriculum work and a couple other things, including some of our new staff that we're looking to appoint tonight. We've got the educational services agreements with Northern Region. They provide a number of services, again, as needed. We're not mandated to use them, but it's an option. We've got a physical therapy contract with our physical therapist. We've got the grant application submissions approval. You'll see there's actually 3 of them this year. We have actually reapplied for the high impact tutoring grant, which was opened up again. Again, that's not saying that we're actually necessarily going to get it, but we did apply again based on need and based on some of the success that we saw with working with Huntington at the end of last year. So we just need approval to submit the application, and then we'll see how that goes. We've got an agreement for a copier agreement. Our existing lease is running up at the end of the month, so we need to sign a new agreement, and it's actually with the same company. We've got the annual report that has to be submitted every year on August 1st. This is just giving approval to submit that. And again, that'll be finished once we get the data back from the board self-evaluation. The next one is the emergency virtual remote instruction plan, which I know everybody sees that and they immediately tense up because, yeah, we don't like to see that. That is just a new requirement that's been mandated since the pandemic. Every year, schools have to assure the state that we actually have a plan should we need to go remote, should we need to go virtual. Again, it's a pretty broad plan, which it has been renewed year after year. Most schools don't adjust it because, we don't really have too much of a different perspective in terms of what we would have to do. But that has to be approved every year by the 31st of July. So that's why we're approving that tonight. We've got the gym rental agreement with CMEC, Chad presented before. We've got our technology support agreement with Complete Computer Solutions of New Jersey to renew that agreement. We've got the auditor, which again, the RFP committee virtually discussed which one would be best for that and made their recommendation, and that's who we're recommending tonight. That's DiMaria and DiMaria. And then finally, we're going to have a brief closed session with Mark, our board attorney, to discuss a legal matter. And that's it.
Okay, any comments from the public regarding resolutions? Any comments regarding anything?
Great.
Okay, resolution 2407-17, budget summary. Be it resolved that the budget summary for June 30th, 2024 to July 30th?
No, June 30th. It's the same.
it's one day.
It's just the end of last school year.
Okay, June 30th, 2024, a total amount of $106,739.45 be approved. Moved by McGilchrist moves, second. Avino seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries.
The next one, I'm going to update the official one, but just read that
Okay.
number. That's good.
Resolution 2407-18, budget summary. Be it resolved that the budget summary for July 2nd, 2024 to July 29th, 2024, total amount of $217,755.70 be approved. Moved by McGilchrist moves. Second. Let's do seconds. Any questions or comments from the board?
No, I'll have to print it from my computer when we're done. We'll just,
Avino,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Lazoo,
Yes.
McGilchrist.
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-19, the 2024 to 2027 LIEP 3-year plan. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the Language Instruction Education Program 3-year plan for 2024 to 2027. Moved by McGilchrist moves. Second. Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Lazoo,
Yes.
McGilchrist.
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-20, personnel appointments for the 2024-2025 school year. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the following personnel appointments for the 2024-2025 school year. Do you guys want me to go through each one, or you want to just look it over? Okay. Moved by McGilchrist moves. Second. Avino seconds. Give you a second to look. Feel free to ask any questions or comments from the board. Seeing none. Avino,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Lazoo,
Yes.
McGilchrist.
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Congratulations to everybody. Resolution 2407-21, personnel appointments extracurricular. Be it resolved that the board approve the following extracurricular appointments for the 2024-2025 school year. Teacher mentor Paul Bonney. Teacher mentor for specials Mike T. Faculty PD instructors Alicia Alonso, Mr. Booney, and Ms. Echo. Bonnie, sorry. Moved by Avino moves, Lazoo seconds. Give you guys a second. Any questions? I'm giving you a second to read it. Okay, any questions or comments from the board?
For these faculty PDs, this is during the school year?
It could be there for August training, it could be for the school year.
How come none of the department heads are up there to do it?
because that's part of their job for the most part. This,
So these are additional.
these are like standalone, like turnkey PDs and things like that. So yeah, when it comes.
I'm just saying, not up there to get paid, obviously not gonna double pay, but I'm just saying.
No, this just allows us to,
Additional training.
yeah, no, so this is on the extracurricular list, but it's this is separate from the chair duties. So this is like someone who may have a specialty in a certain grade level, or if they went to some sort of specialized training and they're going to turnkey it to either the whole staff or to a department, this gives them approval to do that. Richard?
No, but if the chair was gonna do August training and teach a skill, then they could get a faculty PD. But many times, if they're just going over something and it's not, they typically would not get paid to teach it. If that makes sense.
Oh, no, I was just wondering why I don't see them up there for a teaching job to get a payment amount, but I was just curious.
No problem.
And that's going to be updated in our chair job description thing, right?
You can if it's not there.
Yeah. but
It
they
doesn't
could-
specifically say if they're like training.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board?
No.
Avino,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Lazoo,
Yes.
McGilchrist.
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-22, personnel appointments, summer 2024. Be it resolved that the TCCS board approve the following personnel appointments for summer 2024. So the behavior committee, $25 an hour, Suzette Waller and Anna Grasso. New staff curriculum training, $25 an hour, Grace Antonori, Molly Connolly, Ramir Ricketts, and Dorsey Williams. And theater camp, Jane Keitel as director for $35 an hour, Iris Pierce, costume design intern, Luna Taveras, costume design intern, and Henry Parsons, sorry. Can't say the first one, as a stage manager. Moved by? Hadnot moves, second?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-23, Educational Service Agreement. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the attached agreements with Northern Region Educational Services Commission. Moved by? McGilchrist moves, second? Mizzou seconds. Your name is so long. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-24, Physical Therapy Contract. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the attached agreement with Therapede to provide physical therapy services. Moved by? McGilchrist moves, second? Avino seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist? Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-25, grant application submissions. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the submission of the following grant applications. High Impact Tutoring Grant to be submitted at 725, Huntington Learning, 225,000, ESEA Title 1A in the amount of $38,087, Title 2A $6,333, Title 3 Refusal of $1,621, Title 4 Part A $10,000, and then the IDEA Basic is $84,863, and Preschool is $2,336. Moved by? McGilchrist moves, second?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist? Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-26, Copier Agreement. Be it resolved that the board approve the following agreement with LDI Connect to provide copier service and maintenance. Moved by? McGilchrist moves, second? Mizzou seconds. Any questions or comments from the board?
That's one of the most important contracts in the school.
Mhm.
You work in the school, you know that copy of that work. All day long.
And you know the teachers should get a cut of this, right? Because they probably fix it 20 times themselves.
Should be a tech.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-27, Annual Report for the 2023-2024 year. Be it resolved that the board approve the submission of the 2023-2024 Annual Report. Moved by? McGilchrist moves, second? Avino seconds.
He just wants to make you write his name.
Yeah, it's long. It's okay. Any, it's good because it gives me a second so people could look. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-28, Emergency Virtual or Remote Instruction Plan. Be it resolved that the board approve the 2024 Emergency Virtual or Remote Instruction Plan. Moved by? Avino moves. Second?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez seconds. Does this have to be revised in 20, why does it only say 2024?
Because it gets submitted annually. I guess that's what they call it.
Oh, they call it for
Yeah.
that year? Okay. Hopefully we never need it.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist? Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-29, Gym Rental Agreement. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the attached gym rental agreement with CMEC All Stars, Inc. at a rate of $115 per hour, $65 per hour for shared half gym sessions in accordance with the school's lease agreement with Friends of Tina Community Charter School. Moved by? McGilchrist moves, second?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-30, Technology Support Agreement. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the attached agreement with Complete Computer Solutions of New Jersey to provide technology support for the 2024-2025 school year. Moved by? Lazoo moves. Second? McGilchrist seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-31, Auditor Agreement. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board of Trustees approve the attached agreement with DiMaria and DiMaria CPA to provide auditing services. Moved by? McGilchrist moves. Second? Had not seconds. Sorry if I cut somebody off. Questions or comments from the board?
No.
Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2407-32, closed session. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees go into closed session on July 29th, 2024 to discuss a legal matter. Moved by McGilchrist moves. Second? Vino seconds. We will be going into closed session at 7:56 PM. Thank you guys for coming.
You should take the voting. You didn't take the vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, vote to go into closed session. I apologize. Avino?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
Anthony? Anthony?
I think we want to get food.
That was a yes? Okay. It's 7:57.
Me too. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You told me I didn't sign this piece of paper.